Now you have a very different style of character, one who's going to be a bit more passive and force you to come into them, and that's going to be Ben with the Zelda.
I'm interested in seeing how the Ivysaur Knight matchup's gonna go, because I think Squirtle is gonna have too much trouble approaching consistently versus Zelda, and plus Zelda's kind of floaty, lightweight character, doesn't get combo too hard, doesn't really let Squirtle exploit his biggest strengths a lot of times in that regard. So I feel like it's up to more so Ivysaur to out-camp the Zelda and Charizard to get the kills. Yeah. Where Squirtle is just like maybe like the small changes. With that said, Zelda does not like small characters. Who does like fighting small characters? And Squirtle is putting in work.
Yeah, good thing for Quidd is that Quidd has been able to capitalize and get max punishes. Like, if you have a matchup where it's hard to get in, you better be good at getting the max amount of damage that you can when you do finally get in. And that's pretty much what happened. Most of that first, minute was Quidd just kind of bouncing around, dodging as much as they could, and then 2 interactions later, we're at, 80%. Now we're at plus 100, and there's that Charizard you talked about to try and get the KO. There it is, gonna dip below the ledge with the F-tilt.
It's like that's one of those things where if you're Van and you get 2 frames like that on the first time you go off stage for an edge guard, you're gonna think to yourself for the rest of the set, I can't go for edge guards if I'm not confident in it, because this Charizard can and will kill me.
Yeah, that's super stressful, because whenever you have to deal with Charizard at ledge, you got the potential for flamethrower, you got potential to get grabbed into a forward throw or an up throw, depending on how they want to mix up your DI. So the fact that you can't just get this ledge safely or potentially go for edge guard, that sucks.
Oh my god, that said, nice. I'm surprised that factory even connected. That was like max range. But with that said, now we have even stocks, only a slight lead for Quidd. Oh my god, this is the first time I've seen him trying to use up B's neutral like that. It's his, I guess it's his anti-Ivysaur camping strategy. With this
yeah, tried to go for it before and ended up missing, so the fact that, decided to go for it again, it's not the safest option, but it's a solid, jump call-out option, so it's going to force Quidd to have to be careful in the way they decide to approach this too.
And with that said, right now, 91% advantage trying to play a little more aggressive, definitely recognizing that this Ivysaur is definitely scary to camp. The raise lead is a bit too much pressure. But with that said, up close, it looks like Zelda has the upper hand here until going for a dash grab, which, Quidd very smartly jumps back with the side B, drifts in with it, and gets a very clean punish.
Got a little bit too hungry for them veggies, decided to take one to the face, and that ended up leading to a KO. But, trying to go for the early down air, I like it. I always like when somebody goes out and makes sure that people with tether recoveries understand that it's not a free recovery.
So many, up Bs are working up ledge trap, and yep, Ivysaur struggles hell with the ledge. It's one of his biggest weaknesses as a character. PT in general, to be fair, but especially Ivysaur. So, those night steps are extra scary when your Ivysaur are there, and you almost want to switch to Charizard, so you need some die.
Yeah, eventually you got to get up there and switch out, because the kill power on Zelda is there. So that's the big thing. It's kind of just get your couple quick interactions, get that chip damage, and get them to the point where that Charizard's gonna be the switch. That way you can try and maybe get a bigger hitbox KO with a following up air.
As I said, the up air shield. I like when I see sport players use that, because it's one of those underrated options out of shield, which actually is really good. At least some damage. Big hitbox, you can grip with it, make it kind of safe if you see miss like that. See? That says at the corners, Ivysaur versus Phantom, you could not let this happen.
Yeah, you got to get back in the center stage. Also, that up B thing, that was actually 3 out of 4 attempts on the using the waterfall. So very impressed by that. Good job with the coverage. Not going to kill just yet, but that one is definitely going to kill. Quidd, that was a pretty even game for the most part, but Quidd definitely had, I think, a bit more overall in the punish game between these two.
Yeah, I was about to say that, right? Where I feel like every time Quidd got a hit, he pushed a little bit farther than Ben. He would get the combos. He'd hold the advantage state a little bit longer. You saw it there, Yeah. Quidd basically corralled Van into approaching at a 45-degree angle, which is exactly what Ivysaur wants. And it's like, Van can win the neutral, but it feels like Van is always on the back foot, even when Van is winning neutral. And it looks like they're running it back. No fear in Van's heart, as all he says, I can win the run back. Easy.
Honestly, I think, the stage is good for both players, so I actually really agree with the pick. Even though Quidd was able to get in a lot more, I think the range of the stage and how you want to control the pace of it as Zelda, this stage just works too well in so many different aspects. So the fact that you can back off like that, being able to just go back and reset and just kind of capitalize on approaching, bad approaches, it still works. It's just can you still do it? Can you actually walk away this time with better punishes? Nope, you're going to get caught right off the bat in a big, quick damage combo from Quidd.
And 39. I'm not too crazy though, that's Squirtle. So you're going to take a 39 of Squirtle hitting you at low percents. Like, you're good, you know, especially if he's saying Squirtle, because that's so many more interactions to fight Squirtle and beat him at. Due to, you know, he's lack of range and not great ability means things like Knight is just so hard for him to actually approach. You should be doing a lot more damage than you expected, like almost 12 damage. It's quite significant, honestly. Since I was coming at like maybe 100.
Yeah, very solid. Like, just kind of like a good get-off-me option that puts quick damage on. It's frustrating. But how does Ven deal with this once again? Like, we're seeing the same thing at the first game. Ven was able to keep Quidd out, but didn't really get a tremendous amount off of it. Like, got just enough, but now is looking at a deficit after all that.
For this Atlantis dash attacks, you put a lot of pressure, and it's so interesting to see the constant, like, you know, super campy defensive play, and suddenly just, alright, Pokemon switch, time to go in. And, like, you can tell they both know the dynamic of the matchup pretty well, and are playing it correctly, I'd say. We haven't seen much Charizard, honestly, coming out against Ven, I feel like, but maybe Quidd is feeling like he can just land a raw hit and get a kill. With that said, avoiding these down Bs is so much harder as Charizards. You don't want to use this while you're neutral. There's more going to damage.
I mean, it was almost right on cue with what you said, just like looking for that quick raw hit. Almost KO'd with the F-tilt, but that back air at the very edge of the foot gonna get the sweet spot there. I did not think that was gonna reach from that range.
And that was like 100% on Charizard. This is a lot of range though. With that said, this is definitely a chance for Zelda to get a really nasty early kill. Because she has a lot of very powerful kill steps, starting at like 60 or 70 with all this reach.
Yeah, you do not want to be caught with a jump at any point with that up air, but it don't matter anymore. That down air finally catching its target. Eventually that Ivysaur down air is going to hit you and work. And that's really the first time Quidd actually went for it. So good job, once again, putting some fear into recovery.
Oh, then with those double jump, gets away with that, but then Quidd using the up air, sure, really smart. I haven't seen him use that yet. And really using these back airs right now to catch Ven on guard.
Ooh, going for it all there, looking for like an air dodge down with that Flare Blitz. I think a part of that fly too was to answer maybe Nehru's love because they were both in a scramble spot.
Yeah, and it worked out. With that said, now Ven has a ledge trapping situation, has to back off, mistimes the Knight, like he's usable again, and suddenly he's back in the corner versus Charizard. And you really do not want to be there. Both these characters have low mobility, so both these characters have a lot of trouble jumping over the other and getting out of the corner.
I gotta say, the confidence of Ven to stay in shield of like up against the ledge when forward throw is a potential kill option because Zelda isn't the heaviest character in this game. He's very, very confident to stay still and still come out with that punish afterwards. Now catching a few landings and going in a bit. I like this.
With that said, that's definitely said, but I don't think Ven wants to jab it all. With that said, Ven does not die, so eventually counting their blessings right now. This potential edge guard, yeah, I'll go deep for the edge guard. Now Ven's potentially dead. No, Quidd does not get it. And that bonus episode is pretty safe at a distance. You have to realize I've sort of like leans forward and then back really far into the forward smash.
Yes, it's such a good ledge trap option, just being able to cover multiple. I'm really surprised it actually didn't hit. It seemed like Quidd had the timing for it. Here we are, last stock, catching a few landings, almost catching the air dodge, which will let a bit more. So Ven gonna be counting some lucky stars right there. The fact that they're actually able to get out of that.
Side B is not gonna do too much. It honestly gives Quidd time to get back on the stage. And now Quidd is taking full advantage of Ven potentially giving up an edge guard and a ledge trap. And that could be game. That is game. That was a weak hit down there, and it was so enough because Ven burned that double jump trying to recover. Stalled up so too long.
Yeah, that was all just good passive pressure from Quidd, just kind of following Ven along the way, forcing the air dodge out because you're at kill percent, it's Ivysaur. The up B is gonna come, the up air is gonna come. Like, you have to always be worried about the potential of getting hit by those big hitboxes. So what do? You air dodge out of fear, put yourself in the corner, and that just led to that downer. That Quidd is immaculate at catching Ven's landings.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be as well. Like, when you're playing a character like PT, one of the biggest strengths is that their juggling game is well-rounded. So you have to be able to catch recoveries, ledge traps, landings, the whole shebang. You can't just rely on one thing. And here, Quidd is showing that he does not rely just on one thing. And those big hitboxes are proving to be a constant struggle for Zelda, who does not have a way to challenge them or run away. And apparently, I got news, AOS just reversed 3-0 Suarez in the other like section of losers top 8 right now to advance on the bracket. Insane.
Unfortunate for Suarez, but great job by AOS to get a 3-0 comeback. So we'll be seeing Suarez, AOS after this. But can Ven do the same thing is the key. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of Quidd fans in chat, and I know that they're ready to see this W, but what do you think Ven needs to do to make the adjustments to find a way to take this game back?
Honestly, this is different. I think one thing is that Ven might have to rely a bit more on using the forward tilt spacing, forward smash spacing, as weird as it sounds. Try to dash attack Quidd a bit more, Quidd's jumping. Because I really think right now Ven is running a little bit too much on like the specials. I also think Ven is letting a lot of ledge traps go away by relying too much on Scythe and Phantom. And Quidd is really just not getting punished as much as he should be as a result of all this.
Yeah, you know, good job catching that whiff grab with the back air and only taking 14% here on this first stop. So at first what I was going to say is, you know, like I agree, definitely up tilt pressure, a little bit less overall with the specials and forcing some good options, but it's so hard to do, right? Because usually you try to catch a lot of anti-airs, and Quidd's been staying grounded, especially with the Ivysaur. But, I mean, it worked out. Ven was able to still get that damage on.
Yeah, this is the first game we've seen where Ven, you know, really has this lead. Ven looks like Justin making some good reads, and Ven almost killing at like 60. Ven can't get too complacent right now, because even if Ven wins this, Ven has to make sure to get downloaded if he wants to give us 3-0.
Yeah, and just like the name of the game for Quidd, as you always should, is that solid option coverage with a character like Ivysaur, and that was all just led perfectly from forcing a high recovery, getting that back air, covering the air dodge in, and then on this next stock, repeating exactly the same, capitalizing big, and getting it back to even.
Yeah, I mean, now he's winning this, right? You know, capitalizing like on the landings, capitalizing and using his range, and really just Ivysaur constantly coming in clutch as he, you know, turns this game around really quickly with looks like a pretty big combo. Like, you sometimes with Ivysaur, you don't think the damage much, and then the damage racks up really fast for Ivysaur, and suddenly you're at 60, 70, 80, dying.
Good job avoiding the fire, you know, coming in with the fireball. Like, that is just one of those things that you can fall asleep on so quick. But really, like, I haven't really seen, like you said before, the solid edge guard that has led to something big against Quidd. And there's that very, we'll say, blessed with the good hitbox and options forward smash. Somebody got paid to approve that. So
I remember Pandaria showed me, like, early Ultimate how ridiculous that forward smash was. It covers literally every ledge option of time ledge because how far it is, and it's a safe option. You can't really punish that. Less hitboxes, as you say. So really good usage of that from Quidd. Not something too reliable due to the fact it's not linear or anything, but it gets the job done. That's
exactly, like just covering so much, it puts so much fear in people. You see Ven trying so hard to play careful and going for the high recovery. You saw Quidd knew there was no way that Ven was going to go low there after those past few times that Ven decided to hold up on, hold down on the up B. This whole ledge trap, there's been barely a time Ven's been able to play in the past 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh man, these Ultra Bees coming up, they're not doing much of this kind of strong Ven, which potentially is an edge guard. Ven just go jumping, and honestly, I think Ven did a lot of ledge jumps this set. It was a matter of time until Quidd really punished that with something hard like an up air. And you know what better way to do that than to end the set with a 3-0. Good job to the Ven getting top 5 of this, but Quidd is moving on into top 4 right now with that victory.